The galaxy was silent, not the quiet of peace, but the heavy silence of fear. Entire star systems had fallen to the Krath Dominion, an alien empire whose fleets spread like shadows across space. Their ships were enormous, black as void itself, bristling with weapons that could destroy planets in hours. Human colonies, once proud and thriving, were now either under Dominion control or abandoned. In the Galactic Council's hall, representatives of many alien races gathered, their faces tense. They whispered to each other, their voices low. The Council had failed. Every plan to stop the Krath had ended in disaster. Entire fleets were destroyed. Worlds burned. Hope was a word from the past, one that seemed meaningless now. "The humans," said a tall, blue-skinned ambassador, his voice trembling. "They are still free, but I doubt even they can resist the Dominion. Their colonies are gone." "Humans are stubborn," replied another delegate, a four-armed alien with golden eyes. "But stubbornness alone cannot stop a fleet like that. Perhaps it is time to surrender." Even among themselves, the aliens were unsure. The humans were different. They had survived where others had failed, fought where others had fled. Stories of human courage reached even the farthest corners of space. And yet, with the Dominion advancing, even these tales began to feel like myths. Far away, in the uncharted reaches beyond known space, the hum of engines filled the air. On a hidden human shipyard, enormous starships lined up in perfect formation. The War Armada, humanity's greatest creation, was nearly complete. Admiral Marcus Hale walked along the main deck, his boots clicking on the metallic floor. His uniform was simple, but his presence demanded attention. Around him, engineers, pilots, and soldiers moved with purpose, checking systems, running diagnostics, and preparing for the mission that could save the galaxy. Hale stopped in front of a massive window, staring at the endless stars. "All our colonies have fallen," he said quietly. "Our people have been scattered, but we are still here, and we will not let the galaxy fall without a fight." A young pilot named Alara approached him. Her hair was tied back and her eyes shone with determination. "Admiral, the last fleet is ready. The engines are online, the weapons calibrated, and the shields tested. The War Armada is ready to move." Hale nodded. "Good. Make sure every crew member knows what we face. The Dominion is not just powerful, they are ruthless. They will test us in ways no one can imagine, but humans adapt. Humans survive, and we will remind the galaxy why they should not give up hope." The War Armada was unlike any fleet the galaxy had ever seen. Its ships were not just machines. They were symbols of human ingenuity. Smaller vessels could repair themselves in flight. Battleships had adaptive shields that learned from enemy attacks. AI systems coordinated every movement, allowing the fleet to react faster than any alien mind could predict. And at the heart of it all was humanity's greatest advantage: creativity and courage. As the last preparations were made, news arrived from the frontier. Dominion patrols had been sighted moving closer to human space. Panic was spreading among the scattered colonies. Entire systems considered surrendering without a fight. The weight of responsibility settled on Hale's shoulders. He knew that if the War Armada failed, it could mean the end of human influence in the galaxy, but fear did not shake him. It never had. Humans were built to face impossible odds, to fight when all seemed lost. Hale turned to his officers. "This is not just a battle," he said. "This is the spark that will ignite hope across the galaxy. Remember, every system we save, every colony we protect is a message that humans never give up." The crew nodded. Some were veterans of countless skirmishes, while others had never seen real battle. Yet every face reflected the same determination. They were ready. They would be the ones to break the chains of fear that gripped the galaxy. As the War Armada prepared to depart, strange lights appeared on the radar. Alien ships, small but deadly, moved through the void. The Dominion had sent scouts, likely to warn of the humans' return. Ilara's fingers danced over the controls, analyzing the threat. "They're fast," she said, "but predictable. If we coordinate our movements, we can get past them without losing any ships." Hale smiled. "That's what humans do. Find a way when others see only walls." The War Armada slipped into the darkness of space, engines blazing. The fleet moved like a single organism, every ship aware of the others, every crew member connected through advanced communications and shared purpose. For the first time in months, hope began to stir, not just among humans but among those who watched from afar. As they entered the uncharted territories beyond known maps, The stars seemed endless and cold. Space was full of dangers. Rogue asteroids, collapsing stars, and invisible energy storms that could tear a ship apart in seconds. But the humans pressed forward undeterred. Every challenge they faced strengthened them, teaching them new ways to survive. Late one night, Hale walked alone on the bridge, staring out at the infinite void. "We are small," he whispered, "but we are not powerless. If we can reach the heart of the Dominion, we can show the galaxy that courage, determination, and ingenuity matter more than size or strength." A soft beep interrupted his thoughts. The War Armada's sensors had detected a distant planet, one that had sent out a faint distress signal. Colonists trapped, waiting for rescue. Hale's eyes narrowed. "Prepare rescue teams," he ordered. "No one is left behind. That is who we are. That is why we fight." As the fleet moved closer to the planet, a sense of purpose filled every human aboard. This was not just a war. It was a mission to remind the galaxy that even in the darkest times, light could shine through. And humans, stubborn and brilliant, were ready to be that light. The first battle was still far away. But the War Armada had begun its journey. And somewhere across the vast expanse of space, whispers spread. Humans were returning. Hope was no longer lost. The void was quiet. Too quiet. It stretched endlessly. A dangerous stretch of space filled with unstable anomalies, rogue asteroids, and hidden energy storms. Few dared to travel through it. Most civilizations avoided it entirely, fearing ships lost to its hidden dangers. But the human War Armada moved steadily through the darkness. Its engines burned with steady light, cutting through the black like a blade. The fleet's formation was precise, each ship maintaining its position while scanning for threats. Admiral Marcus Hale stood on the bridge of the flagship Resolute, watching the navigation display. Lines of energy storms blinked red on the screen. Small swarms of Dominion patrols were reported ahead. Every crew member felt the tension, but no one wavered. "We're not here to fight the Dominion yet," Hale said, voice calm but firm. "We're here to survive the void and reach the heart of their territory. Stay sharp. Watch for everything." Ilara, now piloting one of the fastest strike cruisers, called over the comms. "Admiral, we've detected a rogue asteroid field ahead. It's moving faster than predicted. But I have an idea. If we adjust our vector, we can use the field to hide from Dominion sensors." Hale nodded. "Do it. Humans always find a way." The fleet shifted, weaving through the asteroids with skill that no machine alone could replicate. Ships darted between massive rocks, shields absorbing minor impacts, engines burning with precise bursts. Dominion scouts passed nearby, their sensors unable to detect the clever maneuver. For a moment, silence returned. Humans had outsmarted the enemy once again. As they moved deeper into the void, the War Armada detected something unexpected. A small colony ship floated abandoned, its hull scarred and dark. It was a remnant of a human settlement lost months ago. Hale ordered rescue teams to deploy. The teams moved quickly, repairing damage and checking for survivors. Inside, they found a small group of humans, terrified but alive. Relief swept over the War Armada's crews. Saving their own people reminded them of why they fought. "These people need hope," Hale said quietly, "and we are here to give it." With the refugees aboard, the War Armada continued its journey. Word spread among the rescued aliens and humans alike. The humans had returned, and they would fight for everyone who needed help. This was the essence of humanity, of courage in the face of impossible odds. Days passed. Energy storms rose and fell, threatening to tear ships apart. Dominion patrols increased as the fleet approached the edge of Dominion-controlled space. The aliens watching from afar whispered nervously. They had never seen anything like this. Humans moved with creativity, daring, and precision. No algorithm or brute force could predict their actions. Then, the War Armada encountered its first major confrontation in the void. A Dominion blockade appeared, larger and more powerful than any previous fleet. Their ships gleamed with deadly energy weapons ready to destroy any intruders. Hale assessed the situation. Outnumbered and outgunned, a direct assault would mean disaster. But humans never relied on strength alone. They relied on strategy, teamwork, and creativity. "Ilara, I want decoy fleets launched. Make them appear larger than they are. Use our stealth cruisers to confuse the Dominion sensors," Hale ordered. The younger pilot nodded. Within minutes, smaller human ships darted between the main fleet, projecting holographic images of massive warships. Dominion scanners detected dozens of false threats. Confusion spread through their ranks. Meanwhile, the War Armada positioned itself behind a nearby energy storm. Using its adaptive shields, the fleet moved undetected, slipping past the Dominion blockade. Explosions erupted, but only on the holographic decoys. The humans had turned the enemy's strength against them. From the flagship, Hale observed with satisfaction. "Humans do not fight with brute force alone," he said. "We fight with our minds, our courage, and our ability to adapt. That is why we survive." As the fleet emerged from the void, a new challenge appeared. A massive Dominion cruiser blocked the path ahead, more heavily armed than any ship in the fleet. Its energy cannons glowed ominously, ready to destroy anything that dared approach. Hale convened his officers. "We cannot destroy it head-on, but we can use the asteroid field to our advantage. Elara, I want you to lure them into the field. Other ships, be ready to flank from both sides. Precision and timing are everything." The plan was risky, but it worked. The Dominion cruiser followed the decoy, crashing through the moving asteroids. Human strike ships attacked from above and below, exploiting weaknesses in the enemy hull. Within hours, the massive ship was disabled, its crew surrendering. News of the War Armada's victories began to spread. Small colonies that had thought the Dominion invincible sent messages of encouragement and support. The galaxy, which had been silent and fearful, began to hear whispers. Humans were back. Humans were fighting. And hope was returning. Hale knew that the journey was far from over. The heart of the Dominion awaited, its capital and central fleets ready to crush any intruder. But each step the War Armada took through the void proved a truth that no one could deny. Humans were different. They could face impossible odds, adapt to any situation, and inspire courage in others. Late one night, Hale walked along the deck, looking out at the stars. Beside him, Elara joined in silence. "We've made it this far," she said quietly. "But the hardest part is yet to come." Hale nodded. "Yes, but remember this, we are more than ships and weapons. We are humans. And humans do not give up. Every obstacle, every enemy, every storm we face only makes us stronger. That is why we will succeed." The fleet continued through the void, engines humming steadily, lights shining in the endless darkness. Every ship, every crew member, and every rescued soul carried a message across the stars. The galaxy was not lost. Humans had returned, and they were a force that could not be ignored. As the War Armada approached the edge of Dominion space, the tension was palpable. Scouts reported massive enemy fleets preparing for battle. The first major confrontation with the Dominion itself was near. But the humans were ready. They had survived the void, outsmarted enemy patrols, rescued the lost, and shown that courage and intelligence could overcome even the greatest threats. The story of the human War Armada was only beginning. Across the galaxy, whispers turned into conversations, and conversations into hope. For the first time in many months, civilizations that had hidden in fear dared to believe that victory was possible. Hale looked forward, his eyes fixed on the horizon of stars. "The Dominion will not expect us, but we will remind them what humans are capable of. We are more than soldiers. We are hope, and we are coming." The War Armada surged forward, leaving the void behind and entering a space filled with both danger and possibility. The battle for the galaxy was approaching, and humanity was ready to ignite the spark of resistance. The heart of the Krath Dominion loomed ahead. Its capital planet, a massive world surrounded by an armada of warships, gleamed cold and dark against the stars. Every alien fleet the War Armada had faced before was small compared to this. The Dominion's forces were vast, disciplined, and prepared. Admiral Marcus Hale stood on the bridge of the flagship Resolute, watching the enemy armada with calm determination. "This is it," he said, voice steady. "The final stretch. The Dominion thinks no one can challenge them. They are wrong." Around him, the crew checked weapons, shields, and communications. Pilots ran simulations. Engineers ensured every system worked at peak capacity, and soldiers prepared for boarding missions if needed. Every human aboard knew the risks, but none faltered. Courage was the human way, and they would prove it. Elara, piloting a strike cruiser, scanned the enemy formations. "Admiral, their main fleet is heavily armed, but their formation is rigid. They follow protocol, predictable patterns. If we can exploit that, we have a chance." Hale nodded. "Humans have never relied on numbers alone. Creativity, courage, and adaptability will win this day. Everyone, listen carefully. We attack not as individuals but as one force. Precision and timing are everything. The war armada moved forward, splitting into multiple divisions. Smaller ships acted as decoys, drawing attention while strike teams prepared for targeted assaults. Larger battleships powered their weapons, ready to exploit weaknesses in the enemy's defenses. The first clash began with the war armada weaving between the Dominion's outer fleets. Energy cannons lit up the darkness, but humans dodged with skill and intelligence. They used the capital planet's gravitational fields, asteroid belts, and even the planet's magnetic storms to their advantage, confusing Dominion sensors and artillery. Hale's strategy was clear: disrupt the Dominion's rigid command structure. Humans acted unpredictably, a quality no algorithm or military manual could anticipate. Alien commanders, used to following patterns, found themselves reacting instead of leading. The war armada's smaller strike teams targeted critical enemy systems, power generators, communication hubs, and weapon arrays. Explosions rocked the Dominion fleet, creating chaos. Humans coordinated their attacks in ways the Dominion had never imagined. Amid the battle, a massive Dominion cruiser broke through the lines and charged toward the flagship. Its weapons glowed, ready to fire. Alara's strike cruiser intercepted, weaving between fire and debris. Using clever maneuvers, the human ships disabled the enemy's main cannons, leaving it vulnerable. Boarding teams, moving with courage and speed, took control of the ship without significant losses. Across the battlefield, humans inspired the oppressed. Colonies that had been conquered rose in rebellion. Alien resistance fighters joined the war armada, their morale lifted by the humans' courage. The galaxy, once silent and fearful, began to fight back. Hale watched as the Dominion flagship appeared, massive and threatening. It was a fortress in space, protected by dozens of smaller warships. Many would have seen it as an impossible target. But humans did not see impossibility. They saw opportunity. Prepare the full assault, Hale ordered. Every ship, every weapon, every human skill, now is the time. The war armada split into coordinated groups. Some created diversions, luring parts of the Dominion fleet away. Others targeted weak points in the flagship's shields. Humans moved with precision, timing their strikes to hit simultaneously from multiple directions. The flagship's defenses faltered. Explosions spread across its hull as boarding teams stormed aboard. Humans fought with determination, using ingenuity to overcome the Dominion soldiers. They adapted to every trap, turned every corner into an advantage, and pushed relentlessly toward the ship's command center. Finally, Hale's team reached the central control room. The Dominion commander, towering and fierce, faced them. But the humans had one thing the Dominion never had: creativity under pressure. Using a clever combination of technology and strategy, they disabled the flagship's main systems. The massive ship went dark, drifting helplessly in space. Across the galaxy, Dominion forces began to falter. Their fleets, disorganized and demoralized, could no longer hold their ground. Colonies joined the human-led rebellion, spreading the fight to every corner of Dominion space. The tide had turned. Hale stood on the bridge of Resolute, watching the victory unfold. "Humans are not the strongest," he said quietly, "but we are the cleverest, the bravest, and the most determined. And that is what changes history." As the battle ended, silence fell across the war armada. Ships floated among the wreckage of Dominion fleets, but the humans had survived. Aliens and humans alike looked to the sky and saw something they had not seen in decades: hope. The war armada had not only defeated the Dominion's forces, but had shown the galaxy that courage and ingenuity could overcome even the greatest threats. Humans had broken the chains of fear, reminding every civilization that even in the darkest times, one determined species could make a difference. On the capital planet, celebrations began. Colonies once lost cheered as human-led forces helped restore order. The galaxy had been changed forever. Humans were no longer just survivors. They were heroes, symbols of hope and beacons of courage. Hale walked along the flagship's deck, watching the stars. "We have done more than fight," he said to Alara beside him. "We have shown what humans can do, and now the galaxy knows it too." Alara smiled, her eyes reflecting the lights of distant stars. "It's more than a battle won. It's a message. Humans will not give up. We will face any challenge, protect those who need help, and inspire others to do the same." The war armada prepared to return to the outer colonies, carrying refugees, supplies, and the knowledge that hope could survive even in the darkest times. Across the galaxy, civilizations rebuilt, inspired by humans' courage, ingenuity, and determination. For the first time in years, the galaxy looked to the future without fear. And humans, proud and relentless, sailed through the stars, ready for whatever challenges awaited them. They had faced the impossible, broken through the void, defeated the Dominion, and reminded the universe of one undeniable truth: humanity, even in the darkest hour, shines brightest. The War Armada moved forward, a symbol of courage, unity, and hope. Across the stars, whispers grew into songs of admiration. The galaxy would remember this day forever, the day humans returned and brought hope back to a universe that had nearly given up. And so, the story of humanity continued, stronger than ever, proving that even in the face of the greatest darkness, one determined species could ignite the spark that would change the galaxy forever.